The sermon in the sack. The sack itself is from a trip Eric and I took Friday. We went up to the Twin Cities. We saw a ball game. We saw the Twins play the Astros. In fact, it's a very unique ball game just in the fact that it started 81 minutes past its projected start time because of a rain delay with no rain. It was a big scary cloud delay, which meant I got home very late and I'm still tired recovering from it.
Amen.
Let's see what you've got in here.
Actually got home very early.
Oh yes, very early the next day. We have, this is a Jaguar, right? This is from a trip Tiffany took. This thing is really, really odd. I mean, it's
a good word.
Yeah, it is a good word. It's a style called steampunk. I don't know whether most of you, any of you know exactly what that is. But the concept of it is somewhat, what would life be like if the technology of the steam-powered era was the height of technology? Life had gone on beyond that, but technology had not gone on beyond that. Meaning that robots are powered by steam and steam-driven pistons, and you can see, I guess this is somewhat robotic in nature. You can see pistons in here if you look at it very closely. But some of us sometimes are very much steampunk in our attitudes towards life. We're stuck in a different era as if it was the all and end all. For the church, usually that's the 1950s. A lot of churches today are still doing everything exactly the way they did it in 1950. If Rip Van Winkle had fallen asleep in 1949 and woke up today, he would be unable to use a telephone. His idea of a telephone is this little thing that sits here and has a rotary dial. Do you guys even know what a rotary dial is? Do you guys know what a rotary dial is? Yeah. Some places in our country in 1949, you still had a little thing that you rang up. Have you ever seen Andy Griffith where they have the funny telephone? Some places that was still being used in 1949. So he wouldn't be able to use it. He'd never seen a cell phone in his life. Wouldn't have a clue. Wouldn't know what texting was. Wouldn't know what a computer was. Computers in 1949 were huge things. They take up the entire front of the building here. And they were only used by a few people for a few special tasks. They weren't something that you had on your desk or sitting on your lap or now even in little tablet form that you can actually carry real easy and bring to church. Or some of our telephones even have computers kind of built in. He wouldn't know anything about that. He wouldn't be able to do banking the way that we do banking. Never seen an ATM card. Never saw a credit card. Wouldn't be able to go shopping the way most of us go shopping. He'd be absolutely lost. Wouldn't be able to operate the TV. If he'd even seen a TV in 1949, and there were a few around, not very many, but those that were, you actually had to get up and change the channel. You had to be the remote control instead of have a remote control. So this widescreen thing has to be operated by this remote control. He wouldn't have a clue. He wouldn't be able to operate and function in our society until he walked into church on Sunday morning. And he'd feel right at home because the church has not changed since 1950. So he'd be just perfectly at home. We need to change in not our message. The message is eternal. Jesus Christ yesterday, today, and forever. But the methods that we use to carry our message to our community needs to change. We need to meet people where they are. The people that are into steampunk, we need to meet them where they are. People who may have more body piercings than all of us put together, we need to meet them where they are. The ones covered with tattoos, we need to meet them where they are. Regardless of what their culture and their background may be, we need to meet them and share God's love with them where they are and invite them to become part of His body, His church. And we need to do church in a different way. I tell you, in 1949, 1950, they didn't do Revive Us Again the way we just did it. So we don't need to do it the way we did in 1950. We need to do it the way we do it now. We need to reach out to people where they are. So think about that whenever you see any sort of interesting sculptures, designs, the steampunk movement, and some of the others. Think about that. You don't want to be stuck back in the past. You need to be living in the here and now.